afternoon, everyone. Right. Today we are going to discuss good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm discussing the end of year exam due, which is the November exam that you'll be writing. Right. So we are going to look at this question paper, and then I'll be answering. I'll be giving the memo out. Right. So remember, in term 4, you have the question paper is out of 75. 35 is in section A, which is term 3 work, and then 40 in section B, which is term 2 work. So in term 3, section B, which is term 4 work, in term 3, we talked about weathering. So meaning term 3 work, which is section A, will all cover weathering as a topic. So here we have surface forces that shape the earth, right? We have our first question. It's about weathering. You're going to choose a term or concept from column B that matches the statement in column A. So you're going to write only the letter Y or Z next to the question numbers, which is 1.1, 0.1 to 1.1.1.5 in the answer sheet given to you. For example, 1.1.6 is Y. So when you look at column A has got terms, and then column B has got definitions. And when you look at column B, it is totally different. So we have YZ, right? YZ, meaning they are giving you two definitions for weathering. So you choose the suitable definition that defines weathering, or that defines a particular term. For example, let's go to 1.1.1, right? So 1.1.1, it says weathering, meaning you're going to give a definition for weathering, all right? So here we have Y, breaking down of rocks. Here we have Y, which is breaking down of rock, soil, minerals, and Z is higher lying areas. So definitely weathering is the breaking down of what? Of rocks and soil and minerals. So meaning here the answer is Y. Then we go to physical weathering. Okay. So when you look at physical weathering, all right. So when you look at physical weathering, we have two terms. So you can choose which one best describes, or which one describes physical weathering. Breaking down of rocks into similar components without changing the chemical composition, that is Y. And in Z, the physical growth of urban areas. Okay, so the answer that describes what physical weathering is Y. Okay, which is the breaking down of rocks into smaller components without changing the chemical composition. Then we have a chemical weathering, the breaking down of rocks into smaller particles with a different mineral composition from the original rock. Z, a change in the weather patterns that causes global warming. So here our answer is Y, which is chemical weathering is the breakdown of rocks into smaller particles with a different mineral composition from the original rock. Then we go to biological weathering. Y says greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. Z says the breakdown of rocks by living things as roots and animals. So this Z describes biological weathering, which is the breakdown of rocks by living things as roots and animals. All right. So let's go to what is exfoliation. Okay. Let's go to exfoliation and give the term that describes exfoliation. And give the term that describes exfoliation. All right. So we have two terms here given to us. Okay, the first one is occurs when rocks break down. Occurs when rocks break down. Occurs when rocks break up into large fragments. Another one, Z, is rocks weather by peeling off in sheets. So here our answer is Z, which says exfoliation. Under exfoliation, rocks weather by peeling off in the sheets. All right, there you get 5 marks. It's allocated 5 marks. All right, then we go to question 1.2. 1.2.1. Here you have various options are provided as possible answers to the following questions. You're going to choose the answer and write only the letter A to D next to the question numbers 1.2.1 to 1.2.5 in the answer sheet given. For example, 1.2.6 D. Right. For example, let's see 1.2.1. These are 2 examples of human activities that can cause the rate of weathering. One is the burning of fossil fuels. 2 is when constructing roads, people use dynamite to break up rocks. Another one is raining and forest. So here we have 2 options. A, is it Roman numeral 1 or Roman numeral 2? So here our answer is, it involves the 2 examples of human activities are, it is 1, the burning of fossil fuels, and also when constructing roads, people use dynamite to break up rocks. So our answer is A. And then let's go to chemical weathering can occur through solution, oxidation, carbonation, and hydration. And dash, dash, dash. All right. Here our answer is B, right? Meaning chemical weathering can occur through solution, oxidation, carbonation, hydration, and hydrolysis. All right. So let's go to the next question. All right. We have the skeleton below shows a plant root breaking a rock. This is type of weathering is called. This type of weathering, is it called biological weathering, physical weathering, chemical weathering, or soil erosion? This type of weathering is called biological weathering. All right. The type of weathering is called biological weathering. Okay. Then question 1.2.4. 1.2.4. 3 main types of physical weathering are, is it granular or small grain disintegration? Is it exfoliation? Is it block separation? Is it solution? Meaning, with this answer, 2 apply. For example, we have, is it A, Roman numeral 1 or Roman numeral 2? So here our answer, it goes to B, which is granular, small grain disintegration, exfoliation, and block separation. Then we have this type of weathering is called, when you look at this type of weathering, is it chemical weathering, physical, human activities on weathering, or biological weathering? It is called physical weathering. Right. So let's go to erosion and deposition. Okay. So you look at this the sketch that is given on rivers. Refers to the sketch on rivers, features of erosion, deposition along the river course below. All right, so we have the key, that arrow, it shows direction of river flow. Then we have questions that follow underneath the source. All right, the first question is the fluvial landforms shown in the sketch are they mainly found in mature stream, middle, old age stream, low cost river? They are mainly found in age stream and lower cost. So you highlight your answer like this. Right. So then 2.1.2 identify fluvial landform A on the sketch map. Right. So here on the sketch map, you identify fluvial landform A on the sketch map, right? So the fluvial landform A on the sketch map is the Mendel, all right? Here it is the Mendel. It's the Mendel. All right. So here you're going to draw a rough cross section from B to C and label it. From B to C and label it. So here you're going to draw from B to C and label it. So meaning here, you'll have to draw it on the page that is given to you from B to C. This is B, point B, this is point C. And then here, you will have to draw it and go like this. All right. So, which erosion take place at B and C? Okay, when you look at question B, it says which erosion take place at B or C? The erosion that takes place, will erosion take place at B or C? No, the erosion will take place at B. It won't take place at C. Give a reason for your answer in question 2.1.3. The reason is that the river flow is fast at the outer bank. Here, the reason is the river flow is very fast. River flow is fast at the outer bank. That's why erosion will take place at B. Right, let's move on. All right. All right, let's move on. So in a paragraph of approximately 6 lines, describe the processes that resulted in the change of flavor landform A to an oxbow leg at D. So here in your paragraph, you'll talk about deposition. You talk about that the outer bank of the river gets eroded. So here you're trying to describe the processes that resulted in the change of the flavorful landform A2 and oxbow lake at D. First, the outer bank of the river gets eroded. So you talk about the outer bank of the river gets eroded. Get 2 marks for that. And then you also talk about the deposition takes place at the inner bank. Deposition takes place at the inner bank. All right. Then also you talk about here, you also get 2 marks for that. Remember, they say it's approximately 6 lines, but each line you give, you get 2 marks for that. And then you also talk about the Mender loop develops. Mender loop develops. Yes, and then you also talk about during the flooding, the river cuts through the Mender neck. During the flooding, the river cuts out through the meander. The river cuts through the meander neck. All right. So let's continue. All right, let's continue to question 3, the impact of people on soil erosion. Here, I'm going to refer to the extract below on soil erosion in the Amazon rainforest. All right, let's read through the extract. The Amazon is the world's largest rainforest and largest river basin on the planet. Today, the Amazon is facing a multitude of threats as a result of unsustainable economic development. 20% of the Amazon biome has already been lost, and trend will worsen if left unchecked. With erosion being the major concern, the logging and clear cutting of rainforests are some of the leading causes of land degradation worldwide. In the Amazon River forest of Brazil, for example, an area the size of a football field is cut every second, leaving vast swaths of land vulnerable to wind, rains, and floods that cause erosion. The Amazon is the biggest deforestation front in the world, and interventions are urgently needed to prevent a large-scale, irreversible ecological disaster due to man. Deforestation by activities such as sustainable logging, ranching, and mining can lead to fast and widespread erosion of rainforest soils. Logging companies clear out large areas of rainforests and ranches with little land, allow cattle to overgraze delicate rainforest grasses. Agriculture is another major cause of deforestation and erosion. So here we've read the extract. Now we are talking about, our first question is, what is deforestation? Here you can say deforestation is the cutting down of trees in a forest. So you talk about cutting down of trees in a forest. Cutting down of trees in a forest is called what? Deforestation. Is called deforestation. So according to the extract, name 2 human activities that have led to soil erosion. Here you refer to the extract, the activities here that have led to soil erosion. You can talk about logging. You can talk about ranching. You can talk about mining. Okay. So those are some of the activities that have led to soil erosion. All right. According to the extract. Okay. And you can also include agriculture. All right. Then list 2 physical factors that have caused to soil erosion. Right. So list 2 physical factors that have caused soil erosion. Okay. The 2 physical factors that you can talk about, list 2 physical factors that have caused soil erosion. The ones that you can talk about here, you can talk about loss of natural, the factors that have caused soil erosion. You talk about wind. You talk about floods. These are natural physical factors. You talk about rains. Yes. And then state one way in which soil erosion will impact on the environment of the Amazon rainforest. There will be loss of habitants. Yes, there will be loss of natural habitants. There will be loss of natural habitats. There will also be loss of trees. Loss of trees. There'll also be endanger of species. All right. So explain the effects of soil erosion on the environment in the Amazon rainforest. The effects will be loss of vegetation, there will be loss of vegetation. There will be loss of vegetation, which helps land to retain water. All right, there'll be increase in runoff. There will be increase in runoff as vegetation does not protect the soil. There'll be increase in runoff as vegetation does not protect the soil. There will be desertification. There will be desertification created due to removal of trees. due to removal of trees. Okay, then let's look at section B, which is about STEM for work. So this section is out of 35 marks. Let's look at section B. Section B, you're going to choose a term or concept from column B that matches the statement in column A. Write only the letter Y or Z next to the question next to the question number. For example, here we have things we require in order to survive, like food. Are they needs or are they wants? Those are needs. Things that you need to survive, or things that you require in order for you to survive. A community of interacting organisms in their physical environment. Is it an ecosystem or is it erosion? It is an ecosystem. All right, we have catching large and unlimited amounts of fish, which lead to reduced amounts of fish over time. Is it food security or it is overfishing? It is overfishing. Then we have resources with the ability to reproduce through biological or natural processes in which is not ran out. Is it renewable resources or non-renewable? Those are renewable resources. Abusing the soil by allowing animals to graze on the same area. Is it overgrazing or is it depleted? It is overgrazing. Here you have your 5 marks. Okay, and then let's look at give one word for each of the following descriptions. Write only the term next to the question number. A change in the weather patterns that causes global warming, that is called climate change. It is called climate change. Right. Then the gradual increase in the overall temperature of the Earth's atmosphere, that is called global warming. That is called global warming. It's called global warming. And then gases that trap heat and causes the temperature of the atmosphere to rise. Those are called greenhouse gases. All right. Greenhouse house gases like carbon dioxide, which trap heat in the atmosphere. They are called carbon emissions. Carbon emissions. Right. Using resources carefully so that the future generation will benefit from them is called sustainable. Is called sustainable resource use. Resource use. Right. So let's go to question 4.3. Refer to the extract below on coal as a conventional energy source. Okay, so here we have the source, electricity load shedding. We'll have a GDP growth this year and the cost the country potential job says the analysis. All right. So you read through the extract and then you define. Our first question is define the concept load shedding. All right. When you look at our extract, let's see if we have the concept of load shedding. Ramaphosa has raised the threshold to 100 MW according to Ramaphosa. All right. So you can define the term load shedding as the action to reduce. Load shedding is the action to reduce the load on something, especially the interruption of an electricity supply to avoid excess load on generating plant. So it's the action to reduce Load shedding is the action to reduce the load on something. To reduce the load on something. That is load shedding. Name the power utility that provides South Africa with electricity. That is called Eskom. We get our electricity from Eskom. According to the extract, what are the effects of load shedding to the economy of South Africa? You talk about job losses. You talk about having half the GDP. And also, let's move on to the next one. 4.3.4 state the causes of load shedding in South Africa. What causes load shedding in South Africa? One is the failure to build new power stations. Failure to build new power stations to keep us with economic, to keep up. Failure to build new power stations to keep up with the economic what? Growth. Okay, that's what causes load shedding in South Africa. Also, the reduced production from aging. Or faulty equipment. Reduced production from aging equipments. Okay, then 4.3.5, explain how President Ramaphosa's decision positively impacted the amount of electricity available in South Africa. Okay, here you can talk about the private sector can generate its own power and sell the excess back to the grid. The positive impact is the private sector can generate its own power and the private sector can generate its own power and sell the excess to the grid and sell the excess to the grid. Define the concept unsustainable resource use. When you talk about unsustainable resource use, you talk about the overusing and there's abusing resources without carefully considering future quantities of that resource or the quality of that resource. So it's the overusing. Is the overusing of resources without considering the future. Use of resources without considering the future. That is called unsustainable resource use. Why does South Africa favor a non-conventional source of energy such as coal to be its main resource? Why? Because it provides jobs and contribute to GDP. Because it provides jobs and contributes to GDP, and also because the government has invested a lot of money in coal mines and power stations. Explain the negative impact that coal mining has on the environment. Okay, under this, you can talk about habits. You can talk about acid mine drainage cause water pollution. You can talk about the acid mine drainage. You can talk about the acid mine drainage, cause water pollution. Okay, you can talk about uh you can talk about the biodiversity. Biodiversity is reduced. Okay. Then we have the food resources. All right. There's an extract below on food security. Then it says define the concept food security. When you talk about food security is when food security food security is when food security is when nutritious food is accessible to the people, is when nutritious is when nutritious food is when nutritious food is when nutrition is when is when nutritious food is accessible to the people of a country. That's when we have food security. What percentage of South Africans experienced food security in 2021? The percentage was 2 point, it was 23.6%. Okay, as indicated here. Here is the answer. All right. Let's talk about the next question. What is the importance of food insecurity experience scale according to the extract? The importance is to make a comparison of food security across the country. To make a comparison of food security across the country. Suggest how healthy pandemics such as COVID-19 led to food insecurity in South Africa. One was people were unable to work, reducing food production. People were unable to work, reducing food production during COVID. Okay. Another one, You talk about due to unemployment, people could not purchase food. Okay. Due to unemployment, people could not purchase food. Okay. Then explain how South African government can help farmers, or you can call them planters, in achieving zero hunger by 2030. One, they must set up incentives can increase productivity on farms. Incentives can increase productivity on farms, and also providing modernized farming equipment, providing modern farming equipment will increase productivity. Also encouraging subsistence farmers to embrace commercial, encouraging subsistence, encouraging subsistence farmers to embrace commercial farmers. Okay, they should also you can also talk about access to pesticides and insecticides, improve access to access to access to access to access to access to pesticides and insecticides improves productivity, it improves productivity. Right, then you are done with the entire paper. And then with your section B, you have your 40 marks. And here it totals up to 40. Then you have your 40 marks. Then you'll be done with the entire question paper. Yes. So you need to go through it and then revise it and do it on your own. Yes, with that, we are done with the revision of this question paper. I'll see you next time. Thank you.